What's up, bro? I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know who that guy was in the beginning, but we'll figure it out. Oh, wait, the government told me what the date was, so we'll follow their direction because they're the best. Thanks, government. Anyway, well, we're going to call it February 19th. It's a Thursday, trash day here at the Price Residence, 26. Wow, you think about this, guys. We are almost halfway or most of the way through February. That means you only have 10 more house payments till the end of this year. That means you only have about 9 more house payments until Christmas. You have about 8 more house payments until Thanksgiving. You have about 7 more house payments until Halloween. Do you see how that kind of works? It's really not that far away, and a lot of the stuff that we keep saying we're going to give time to or do this, that, and anything. We're going to do so many great things. It's going to be so awesome. Whoa, Sabrina Greer here. Sabrina Greer. Wow, a lot of R's. Sabrina Greer. Had to slow that down. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do a language lesson with your name, but thank you, Sabrina, for being here. We got Edwards here. Dave Salee. What's what? Middle Kansas getting smoked out because we don't like you people. Now we had some wildfires in the area yesterday. And that's what happens. By the way, guys, listen. Let's do a little ecology. Let's do I am a Greenpeace loving, hugging the polar bears. By the way, a polar bear will eat you and not even be hungry. They're just not cool animals. They're really cool from over there, but they're not cool. By the way, they are black with white hair. Anyway, the hair is not white. It's actually clear. Anyway, Danica is here. Dave Glevin's showing up. Being in the house. What's up, Eddie? Edwards here as well. All right, so let's go back to the ecology, eco thing. Now, remember we had that lady AOC who went over to Munich a couple of days ago and just embarrassed the shit out of America because she's the darling of the left, and then Gavin Newsom gets up there and he's doing the I've got my hair and it's so pretty and I'm tall and very Hollywood of him, right? Anyway, so I wonder if that guy gets his butthole bleached. Anyway, not my deal. I don't have no idea. But, I mean, it's a Hollywood thing, right? Isn't that what you do in Hollywood? I don't know. That's what I heard. I have no idea. I was supposed to be in Hollywood this weekend. Hey, Brendo, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. But when I do visit L.A., I don't get my butthole bleached. I just let you know. Maybe because Gavin's there. Oh, is it a requirement for citizenship? Maybe they have to. Oh, we have to gronk that. See if we can come up with something that tells us what the hell's going on there. Maybe it's an admission to the club. So if that thing's all shiny, then they just let you right in. They're like, oh, you belong here in L.A. I have no idea. I think it's kind of weird that we would even consider any of that. But, hey, you guys are in control of the show here. Now, let's go back to the ecology, ecosystem of the Earth. Long before we decided to have a fire department, which is only about 100 to 200 years old, depending on how far back you want to go, that say someone didn't want their shit to burn down. That they had a structure that may or may not be flammable. Okay? Now, good to see you over there. Good to see people. Everybody got YouTube. We got Rumble. We got Twitter. Is Twitter doing that thing? Now, by the way, Ed, hey, over on Twitter, on my stuff, what was happening there was it was publishing it as a live video. You could go to my profile picture and click that. It would show you the video. But it is not, for some reason, publishing to my page. And I don't know what that is about. I'm not sure why that's it. So I went to that live stream and I reposted it to my page. I did that yesterday where it just showed it as a link. It didn't show it as a live feed. And looks like we're still doing that again today. So, but if I go to click my photo on there, and I go to the live view, see, this is where they kill me. See, they don't put this up, right? And then when I don't get any traction. I don't get traction when they decide not to publish me. I mean, what am I supposed to do there? I mean, not only are they dropping people off of my Twitter page on the daily, like literally, guys, I get people who follow me, and then they literally turn around, and then they take it off. I'm down to, what is it on Twitter now? What do I got? All right. I don't know why that's being weird. Okay, let's just go to my profile here. We're at Oh, we're down into the 30s, 35, 36. So we broke 3,500 and we got up to like 3,570, 3,580, and then now we're down to 3,536. And I've actually been showing you guys a live feed of this when it actually dropped one off. You guys were witness to it. I actually have a live feed of it. So anyway, let's go back to, let's just skip all that. We'll stop talking about that stupid stuff. Let's go to, hey, if you like the Jim Price Show Daily Update, you know your friends will too. Invite them and share. Dave Glovin, look at you being a professional. You're cool as stuff, man. Dave is cool. They are having problems. I have to post my link. Okay. Well, I don't like it, but it's happening. So now mine is up there. Oh, wait. It actually, now that I said that, actually it is showing the video now on my page that I just had to post. So it is showing it right now, but anyway, that's sad that that's happening. And so, all right, so let's get back to things. All right, now, a long, long time ago, we're going to go in the Wayback Machine, okay? We're going to go Wayback Machine. By the way, if you go to the Wayback Machine on the internet, you can go and find old posts of yourself. You can find old posts that have been deleted. You can find old information, maybe old websites that you used to go to. The Wayback Machine has most of that in there, but we're now finding out the CIA, NSA, FBI, all the three-letter agencies, Mossad, and all the other MI6, they're all in there touching it. So they're actually making sure to double down on even the Wayback Machine and getting rid of the information that may or may not be hurtful to them because they don't want to be hurted. They're very sensitive. So anyway, let's go back. So I have actually had this conversation with people in person. I don't know if I've really talked about this out loud on the show, but let's go to the why do we not want things to go into a trash heap? Why do we not want to have there's people that will go out of their way, and there's people that believe that you should go in and do all kinds of composting. You should compost like 10,000 pounds of shit every day. You're just part of your life. There's people out there will tell you that it's absolutely amazing that you should always put things in big heaps of piles and let it ferment. Well, the problem is that all you're trying to do is actually create a fermentation process that breaks all that organic material down into what would be ash. Now, I said that, and I stopped because I wanted you really to think about what I just said. So we got this big, out here in the northwest part of Wichita, we got this great big trash transfer and also a dump here in Wichita. And they've got this mountain of trash, and it's that they're building an actual mountain. It is literally a mountain. I drive up on it. I dropped off bricks off of there. I was working on a historical restoration project. I was dropping off these nonsensical bricks that didn't match the product, and I was going up there, and I'm clear up on the top of this mound. And I'm like, why are we doing this? But you know the one thing they do burn? I can't tell you. You wouldn't think they would be burning them. I think I gave it away. Anyway, so now what the problem is that when you do not burn and you put it into fermentation, it takes up to 100 years. And I know everybody's like, no, my compost pile in 3 years is like so great, and I got all the wormies doing all their wormy things. When we're talking about trash in a trash heap that has got plastics, metals, chemicals of all kinds. I mean, obviously everything we dump in our damn trash can goes to the damn dump. So the problem with it is if we were actually to take all of our trash and incinerate it, use the trash as an accelerant to create steam and electricity, we could actually go ahead and put some power back into our cities. But then we wouldn't have these huge mounds of shit. But then on the back side of that, we would actually have, as you burn that, the molten metal coming out of it. The molten metal would be coming out of it, including steel, aluminum, titanium, gold, silver, copper, cadmium. All these amazing metals that the city or the county or the state or a private entity could sell to perpetuate. But on top of that, you're already collecting trash dues. And then I'm going to make electricity that I'm going to sell to you. And then I'm going to sit there and watch the gold and the silver and the aluminum and all the shit rolling out of there. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say, hey, I've got 100 pounds of gold. How much monies is that? Is that a lot of monies? I like monies. Here's 100 pounds of gold. Give me my monies. Because in every computer and every stupid little electronic thing that we have, there's all kinds of little pieces of silver. No, now in this cell phone, there's only a little bitty micro piece. But how many cell phones, how many devices, how many electronics, how many controllers, how many TVs, how many computers are getting thrown away? And that would be then burnt up instantly, and it would be then brought out and refined, and we would be pulling every single part of that out. We would bring the oxidation heat and make electricity out of all that organic material, but then creating enough heat to melt the metal so that you can then refine it. But you know what you're doing? You're releasing the energy that is stored in all of that fermented crap that you're leaving in a big mound on the edge of your city that will eventually go into the water aquifers and actually destroy the environment. You stupid idiots. So when we sit here and we have these conversations that we can't burn things, guys, we had burns going on over in south central Kansas that came across the Oklahoma border. Oh my God, it's crossing the border. And it's going through these prairies, these hay fields, all this dead, okay? Nothing is alive. All the leaves are gone. All the leaves are gone. Okay, so as that burn is going through, it's getting rid of the overgrowth. It's getting rid of the leaves. It's breaking them down instantly into carbon, into nutrients, into nitrates that go into the soil that's going to feed the very plants that a month or two from now in that whole area will be so damn green. You'll think someone there went in there with some chemicals and made it beautiful, but all it was a burn. Just like the forest in the West Coast and the East Coast and the South Coast and the North Coast. Everybody, all these trees, the forest fires need to burn. Because it caramelizes the outside. It makes the bark stronger. It gets rid of disease and fungus. It burns off the lower limbs. It gets rid of the needles and the leaves. It allows the ground to be able to breathe because trees actually breathe through their roots. So as we burn our trash, and I told you guys, every piece of cardboard, go get yourself a little chimenea, or go get yourself a little wok, or whatever they call them, a little hibachi grill, or whatever, just something there. And every piece of cardboard, every piece of paper, all of your mail, burn it. And then take the ash, even if you're in an apartment, go out on your stupid little patio and burn your cardboard. And then take that ash and put it in your plants. Or put it into a bucket until you need to grow it for your garden. Or just when you get through burning each time, go put it in the garden so over the winter, the cold and the moisture and the sun react with the ash and it goes into the soil and the soil accepts it and it goes in. You could till it back in and that soil turns into amazing stuff because all those minerals are driving back into that clay or they're driving back into the organics and it makes everybody happier. Because your vegetables now have minerals that you don't get anywhere else. See, the point of this is that we don't even know how our own planet works, but yet we're all god-dang experts. We're all experts. We're all brilliant. We all got all the answers. I saw it on CNN and Fox, and I was watching a PBS special. Guys, you know Fox takes government money too, right? You know that, right? They take government money too. Now, real quick, a little bit of business news here. By the way, remember, go to snootspray.com, snootspray.com. I did get a message that there was a delay. Now, I did go ahead and sign into my account today around about 11 o'clock. I do not think, she said yesterday that it was up and running before we started the show, so we went ahead and told everybody. But I think it went live this morning sometime. I think someone forgot to go ahead and put the final submit button in. I got an email. I filled out my stuff. We're good. Luther Bradley also fertilizes the ground, go mushroom hunting in burn areas the next year. Excellent findings. Oh, yeah. Luther, no, I was absolutely saying all that. That's what all that ash does, is it's just huge nutrients going in the ground. But did you know that the heat from the fire actually opens up pine cones so that the next generation of seeds will be released into the forest? And then the forest itself will regenerate itself through the fires, because the fires open up the pine cone and pop those seeds away from the tree so that generations move on away from that tree, and they get a different genetics blending. Did you know that? Did you know that most of the seeds that are actually in the prairies and even in the mountains themselves have to be treated with heat to get the husk to open up? Did you know that? Now, there is another way that it gets to open up, but if the heat goes across there, it opens up faster. That means we get new plants. We get new native grasses. We get new native trees. We get new native bushes. We get new native flowers that just come out of nowhere. But here's the problem, guys. We got a lot of people who run around and they talk about all the things they know and what they're doing, but the sad part of it is I, as a person who I believe I'm not even that close to being smart, the more I learn, the more I know I don't know. I'm telling you what, guys, I have found out so many things about my world, about my body, about my God, about how every god dang thing works on this earth. And I keep finding out more about the Federal Reserve every single day. I find more out about my spiritual walk with my Creator. I find a further walk with my medical, my physical body, how my body reacts, and how even when I put certain foods in my mouth and I notice within an hour I've had a reaction, meaning that my body is stimulated or drugged down by the food I'm putting in my body. I'm watching it at that great detail. But there are people out that are putting pizzas in their face every day. Their big pie holes just got all kinds of crap put in there. And they'll tell you how brilliant they are about the world's economy. And they'll tell you how tariffs are a horrible thing. And they'll tell you how dumps are the only way to do them. If you use an incinerator, that all that heat is then gained, and oh my gosh. But the problem is the heat gain is lost because the heat is actually cooled down through the water that you created into steam. And if you got real fancy with it, you could probably go ahead and heat probably a couple miles of road around that area where the freeway never freezes. See, my point is, guys, I think that too many times we're too damn lazy to admit that we're wrong. We're too damn lazy to try to go find out. We're too damn lazy because we'd rather have Gronk or Chat GPT or OpenAI do our work for us. God dang, I hate that. Yeah, right. Why is that even connected right now? All right. I gotta take that off there. I have it on there for when guests call in. But we've got people walking around thinking that they actually know like how the world works. And yet they don't understand how taking all of your trash, going through your trash, pulling your organics out, okay? Organics, things that you can put in a compost pile. The rest of it, you burn, and then you can put the ash in your compost pile. And if you want a real compost pile doing some real stuff, try putting a little bit of your ash in there and see how that mineralization does for all that. It's going to change how that dirt and that compost works. You're going to see bugs and worms and things coming in and out of there. They're going to digest that for you and get it done. But see, when you do a compost, you do it above ground. You do it to where the air and the water and the bugs and everything gets to it. But in these big dumps, we cover them up with dirt and put pipes in there so the gas can be released. Well, how come you don't burn the gas and make electricity? How come you don't put the gas in to become some kind of service? So, yes, Dave Salee, you kind of kicked off the show today with me going off on about the environment and how we had a fire. I got many answers from the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Oh, I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you, man. Love that ringtone. West is calling. Yeah, that's the good, bad, and the ugly. I have had that ringtone 20 years. I think it's been at least 20 years. I had it on, oh yeah, it's been 20 years. Let me think, 23 years, 22 years. 22 years I've had that ringtone. It was one of those ones that you had to go in, and I think I had to pay like $1 for it or $2 for it back in the day. And it has now, since I have moved over from a flip phone to a Razor to then whatever to go into an iPhone, it has stayed with me, which is kind of lucky because my photos didn't get to stay with me. A lot of my photos I've lost over the years, and it's sad because we did them on digital. A lot of things were on digital. I have family photos and stuff that were lost in the computer. And Gandhi, oh, Josephine's here. What? What's up? But John and I watched Open Range last night, one of my favorite movies. Oh, not the same. Yeah, I know. So anyway, guys, when we think about how the world itself works, we've got to be very careful that we're not Mockingbird, that we're not doing talking head points, that we're not saying what we've heard only because it makes sense to us. We have to be discerning. And that's a big part of everything that we're facing, is that a lot of people aren't putting that kind of time in there. Let me go through the day's news of the day, kind of get you up thinking. By the way, some girl got ran over because she ran out because she was participating in an ICE a protest at a high school or a middle school or something, and so she ran out in traffic and got hit. Now, here's the problem when you get little kids like that involved, and I coach that stuff, junior high. I'm like, by the way, guys, I've coached kids at 5 because that's usually when a lot of your wrestlers start. If you got a wrestling family, you got kids that are, people feel like they got a lot of energy, they're starting at 5, okay? They're getting them in there. And a lot of kids will go in and by the time they're potty trained, so 3 or 4, they're going into wrestling as long as they're potty trained. So anyway, I have this whole thing with people saying that their kids make decisions and their kids want to have their little wieners cut off or boobs cut off or whatever it is. I'm going to tell you what, I have coached those kids, and I can tell you they are very impressionable. And to think that they came up with one day that they want to whack their thing off, someone had to have repeated that over and over and over again. It has to be groomed into them. It's not a natural course of things. Now, I have been wrestling when a turd showed up on the mat, okay? We don't know where it came from. Nobody claimed it. And it was a little dry, little turd that just was on the mat. And I was like, what is this? And like, it was in a weird spot where like nobody was really around. So when we talk about people that, like, hey, I know I'm smart enough at 8 or 5 to cut my wiener off or cut my boobs off and, sew up my hole. Kids don't know. That's impressionable stuff. I mean, no one would own up to a turd in a wrestling room. I forgot about that until I just really gave that to you guys. But anyway, kids are impressionable. And to say that kids were going to participate in an ICE walkout or an ICE protest or whatever because it's their right, here's the problem. We have deemed this country that you are not an adult until 21. You can't buy cigarettes. You can't buy spray paint. You can't buy big markers. You can't buy lighters without a 21 orientated horizontal driver's license with your government issue face on there till you're 21. And you think in high school or middle school you got the right to go out there and run out and protest? Well, some girl got ran over. This is the kind of stupid shit that I'm over it. Tired of it. It just gets so damn just tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired, Grandpa. Well, shut up and keep digging. All right. Or however that goes. Trump is in Georgia tonight. He's going to be there talking to the people of Georgia about the economy and things. Looks like he is going to kick up the rallies going into the midterms, which is absolutely great. I think he should be doing that. I think it's a big deal that he continues to go on that tour, and that's just kind of what he's there for. And I think he needs to give a little stage time to some others and do some other stuff like that, which he does. By the way, if you've ever been to a Trump rally, there's like 2 hours of speeches or more of very great speakers, people you would like to hear from before Trump ever comes out. I've seen people like Carrie Lake speak. I've seen all the other ones speak. I have been to like this. I think this is a rally. Wait, is that? Yeah. This is a Trump rally one here. Anyway, so there's some CPAC ones in there. But yeah, they're fun. They're worth going to, guys. They really are. And there's vendors, and you can buy all the T-shirts and hats and all the flags and all the world you want. They're probably not as quite as big as what they were years ago. Like the 4 years ago, man, they were they were standing room only. It was amazing. It was amazing to see how that really went. And but anyway, I was the one in Florence in Arizona. That was remarkably cold. I had my vest and my long sleeve shirt on, and I was in Arizona. It was hot that day, man. That sun went down. The wind was coming out of the southwest or southeast. Whew, man, it was rough. That took me 2 hours to get out of that parking lot. It was crazy, and then I ended up going the wrong way, and ended up going across New Mexico in some angle-dangle thing I did. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, I do know how I did it, but it was ended up being a horrific story there at the end. All right, let's see. Pennsylvania principal expertly lays down the law on bratty students cutting class to protest ICE. By the way, in Texas, they suspended all the kids and charged them with a crime of truancy. By the way, there is a crime of truancy. Depending on how it works. But anyway, and then this other black principal, he's like, guys, I'm going to suspend you all, or you're all suspended. I can't remember how he said it, but it's good stuff, guys. There's a lot going on here. A lot of good stuff is happening. People are getting the message. And by the way, I think a lot of this Epstein stuff, and I think a lot of this, not even the ICE stuff is not even a thing anymore. But the Epstein stuff and some of this other stuff, the Mundandi, there's some of this AOC things, the whole... I think honestly we're finding the left and the right actually like commingling. I think we're doing that a lot. Josephine says, I love and miss the rallies. Oh, absolutely. By the way, we're going to be doing one with Clay Clark here in the coming months here. If you guys want to go to thrivetime.com, Clay Clark events, go there and you guys can buy your tickets. Let them know I sent you over there. But by the way, if you go to Clay Clark's events, they are very, very cool. It's going to be 2 days of like 15 hours of speakers. If you can't find somebody you want to listen to in 15 hours a day, that's 30 hours total. I think it's like 15 hours, right? It goes, yeah, they open the doors at 6. They start service and doing like a spiritual thing and all this stuff like at 7. And then by 8 o'clock, they're winding it down. And then I think it's like it either starts right at 8 or at 9. And then they'll go till 9 or 10 at night and then turn around and do it again the next day. It is absolutely breathtaking to see. He's done a really great job with all that. So, yeah, that's good. Brenda says she's already got her tickets. Well, very good. It's going to be down in Tulsa, which is about 2.5 hours from here if you kind of go the back way. You go over here to Bartlesville. And go down by Caney. You go that way, and boom, right there. Good stuff. I actually built a project down in Tulsa, and I just drove back and forth each day because it was like, I'm not going to spend the night in a hotel by myself. Driving back and forth was not that big of a deal. So, anyway, that was what I was used to driving 2 hours in Phoenix. That's what my commute was in Phoenix, by the way. Guys, when you talk, Phoenix is not like that anymore. They have done an amazing job on the traffic control over there. I am very amazed by how they've really overbuilt. I say overbuilt, but that's kind of hard to say for government, but they have put the money into the freeways. It used to be stop and go traffic for 2 hours coming home at night when I framed houses out there up through 95. So Rebecca was born in 91, and I was running a framing crew as a foreman until 95, and it was a 2-hour drive home, and it was an hour and a half in the morning. So out in the mornings weren't really stop and go; they were kind of slow and go. And but yeah, it was at nights it was, and then most of the trucks didn't have air conditioning, so you just sit there and baked in the sun and the heat. But anyway, and the people were like, "Why'd you move from Arizona?" I was like, "I was a framer. Like I was like done. I was over it. My ears used to be crispy on top. Like they would." Like the top edges of my ears, like literally like the bacon. It was bad, and I never wore a hat because hats actually make you hotter a lot of times, depending on how they're built on top, and they'll actually that band will hold heat in on the head. And when you're in Arizona, it's like I just rather just go without. And but I always kept my hair kept pretty close back then, and my ears were still just getting roasted. My nose out here was just flake off, like it was bad. How bad it was. So when people are like, "Oh, why don't you live in Arizona?" I was like, "Well, when I was in my 20s, I thought it sucked." I was like, "It's I'm having kids and I'm burning and." So yeah, no, Arizona's that's real stuff out there, man. And I was putting in the days. I would work. We'd start work at sun up. So whatever time the sun was coming up, it was always in half-hour increments. So if it's 6 a.m., 6:30, 7, 5:30, I mean, if we could get out and get started at 5:30, we would, because we want to beat the heat. It's already 90 degrees at 8 a.m. That's one of the things that people don't realize too in Phoenix. Like you wake up, it's hot. You don't go to bed and like wake. Oh, it's kind of chilly. I'm gonna sit with my coffee in the morning. And if you lived in Arizona all your life, you would say it's cool in the winters, but it's not. It's not. Don't lie to yourself. Your blood does get thinner out there. You do adapt to your environment quite a bit. But anyway, what am I talking about all that for? All right, continuing on. Trump, I think Trump today or yesterday when he answered the question about UFOs and Obama, I do believe that in what I saw Trump do was actually verify that there are. And I don't think he can use the word alien. I think he stepped around a little bit, but his words were, well, Obama gave up classified information. He just broke the law. Well, that says they're real, you dummy. Right? Am I the only one picking it up that way? Did I get that flipped around in my head? Am I thinking of that in backwards here? Did I do that wrong? Like, man, he's like, oh, yeah, no, it's wrong. Did he, by saying that Barry talking about it, he revealed classified information, and then he says, well, that's why I don't really talk about it. Didn't he just verify that it's real? Isn't that what we're doing? Can I get a vote out here? Oh, Luther said, I live in the sunniest place on earth, Yuma, Arizona. I am sorry for that, Luther, and the country does owe you a debt of gratitude for populating that part of the earth, because if anybody's been to Yuma, Arizona, I don't know why people stop there. I mean, you need gas. That's what it is. It's just the gas attendant got a girlfriend and then they had a kid because the gas pumps needed to be so far away, and that was just the one that you needed. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. I guess we need to get our poll going here on everybody's answers on that. Is Trump saying... Did Trump not say Trump did say by saying Barry committed a crime of revealing classified information about UFOs, but then said, I don't really talk about that. That's not my thing. Now, am I getting that wrong? Did he not just admit that there are aliens? Now, I will say this. Maybe he likes parsing words a little bit too. He does that a little bit with play. He plays that. Like, oh, you guys are still interested in the Epstein file? I thought everybody was done with that. He does that little sarcasm thing. And I wonder if this is not going to actually end up being something where he has to go ahead. But I don't think we're going to see it as aliens. I really do believe we're going to see it as things that were already here, things that have been here, things that will be revealed to us. I think maybe even the MK Ultra or even the Project Bluebeam or the face recognition, things that we, the glitches in the Matrix, right? We're seeing the mask move on Joe Biden. We're seeing the emails. Guys, really? Isn't that what we're saying here? Like, all the stuff, all the weird shit, the lizard people, the aliens in the water, the aliens above the sky, the Dark Knight satellite. We quit talking about the Dark Knight satellite, didn't we? We all said that was a piece of debris that has a signal. You believe that, right? You believe that, right? I wouldn't lie to you. So we know that 9/11 was the 2 years that the contractors applied brand new high temp steel fire protectant for 2 years prior to the implosions that we then called 9/11. And then we have Building 7 go down, which had documents and quote-unquote millions of dollars in gold. I think that we're going to get closer to disclosure of things in a way that when we were sarcastically right, when we're sarcastically saying how right we are about something, when we're like, yeah, man, the Nephilim, woo, yeah, Tartaria, woo, lizard people, woo, the guys, I think you're going to get tired of doing the woo, oh, shit, man. They're all real. It's all the weird shit's real. I don't know. That seems to be the easier. That's kind of where I'm defaulting to now. I thought we were going to land in a happy spot in somewhere, get to a point where we all kind of leveled out on some shit here, right? We're going to kind of land the plane. But guys, I want to ask you a question, and this is a question you need to start asking other people around you. And I want you to report back on this, but you got to ask yourself, why was New York Police Department and the FBI both on Epstein's Island at the exact same time? And what did the FBI and the New York Police Department take separately to their own investigations? And where is all the New York City investigation material? Because none of the stuff that we're seeing right now has anything to do with the New York City investigation. Did you just pick up what I put down? See, when we say that there's the end of the bucket, this is the rest of this. Why aren't we having the conversation about the New York City investigation? Why aren't we having the conversation about the witnesses and the officers involved in that? Why aren't we bringing those officers to count in the Congress and say, listen, you need to answer questions about your investigations, the things you saw and what they were? Where is that investigation? Huh? Where is that investigation? Where's the investigation into the company that spent 2 years fireproofing all the steel on the very building that burnt down with jet fuel and melted steel? Where's that federal investigation of fraud? Where's that in the insurance going after that company? Where's the bond that's paid out? Where's the guys going to jail for fraudulent work, billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars of work for 2 years? They had access to the entire building, unlimited access to access steel in any way possible, going into any parts of the building necessary. But then just a few years prior to that, the blind shake goes in and detonates a van full of explosives, but only breaks some windows? Or was that a seismic test to be able to then read the building so they knew where to set all the det cord? And when I went and saw the 9/11 museum and I saw the cut, the way that they said the steel was bent and all that, that's a det cord. That's a flash cut right there. What are you talking about? That's not metal breaking. So my point of all that is that when we start really thinking about all the things that are going on, for the idea that Trump has now went ahead and just disclosed to us that there is shit out there we're not telling you about. There are other things than, this little thing, this little 10 finger, this thing. There's other things than this. Now, I guess I'm a this, whatever this is. But whatever we call ourselves, Homo sapiens, whatever we call ourselves, the Neanderthals or the idiots of a generation, whatever we are, there are other things than us. Well, shit, we're okay with that, with finding new species of squid in the ocean and new whales or new sharks or new fish or new birds in the forest. Why are we thinking that's all we've ever found? And what's ever really out there? There's parts of the ocean that we have no earthly idea what's in it. Oh, we've done LIDARs. We've bounced a few things off the floor here and there. We've made up some shit. We go in there, we fish a lot in certain areas. But guys, there's a lot of things that, yeah, we travel over with boats and we're not paying attention to anything that's under there. We don't know. There's more ocean than there is land. Because of the water that was added that brought the water from the continental shelf up to today's existing levels, when it went from the continental shelf up to here, there is so much more water now than there ever was land. It was completely the other way around. And how salty was the water prior to that comet? Because the comet added more water, right? More H2O, more ice, more purified ice. This ice that travels through outer space comes in and hits the Gulf of America. See, again, guys, this is all, I'm just asking questions and talking about stuff, but we really got to think about this. I mean, Trump just said just yesterday, hey, there's aliens. There's things you don't know. Okay, cool. Just say that. Can we say that and be cool for a minute and like let us walk on that for a minute? Just like, okay, yeah, all right, cool, man. You know, we're not the only thing. That's kind of like when I tell you guys, it's like the more I know, the less I know. The more I know, the more I've learned, the more I've acquired, the more I'm trying. And by the way, I'm telling you what, guys, if people are on painkillers, if people are on painkillers telling you that they don't have memory gaps or they don't have functional issues or they don't have cognitive this or that, I still have little glitches in my memory and little cognitive things here that kind of fuzz in and out, especially about the incident at the beginning of this year. And I'm working on getting the things out of me and working on taking boron and all my stuff to get rid of the heavy metals and stuff. And I'm taking stuff for pain that, but I'm not taking chemicals like that. And it's like, guys, this is real stuff to the brain. But anyway. But I like the idea that there's other things out there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the idea that I don't know a lot. I've accumulated all this knowledge, and the more that I learn about things, the bigger my knowledge base gets, the more I see that there is so much more out there. Because I'm opening my view up, right? My view was kind of microscopic, right? It was down in here. I was only doing one source. I was only doing one thing. I had all the damn answers. My ego said, Jim, you're good. Salute America. Pay your taxes, boy. Go run for office. You're just killing it. But as I raised my gaze on the horizon and saw that there was more out there, and the more I filed out there, the further I could see out there, and the more that I learned, the further I could see, and the further I could see, the more I could learn. And that's really the crazy part is that I feel like it's endless. You can just continue to learn and learn all your life. You never have to slow down for that. And I hate the fact that I got the little memory here and there. With that, and again, guys, people are walking around on painkillers. Feel sorry for them. They are. It's impairment. But I mean, sometimes they are necessary. But again, I asked the question of this to the acupuncturist the other day. I was talking to her about. I said, "Hey," I talked about the pain pills, but my thought was in that moment we was talking about the broken bones. The 7 fracture stuff, right? The liver's being a little torn on the side over here, something we found out, and then the lung itself. But, if you just live on pain pills and you live on SSRIs, you never feel all of the pain. You never feel all the joy. You never know what the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the black, the white of things are. And so you don't ever really experience life. So you check out. So if you're on the pain pills and you don't want to feel the pain, and I get it. There's a lot of things that we do to our bodies in our life, but I'll tell you guys, I have reversed so many things out of my body, but I've reversed a lot of things through getting the trauma out of my body by doing trauma release therapies, to doing those things, to move that out. But I wonder if me actually not getting very many pain pills. By the way, guys, I got a week's worth of pain pills, and I don't know who the hell they thought that was supposed to be for, but it was like, what are you doing here? Like, that's it? For 7 fractures and a hole in my lung? You're just like, and then it's like, anyway. I can't wait to see the bill. I was talking to Marty about that before the show. I was like, yeah, the VA pays about 25, 30%. So, man, I can't wait to see what that bill looks like. It's like, God dang it. So, anyway. Guys, I think our knowledge base can be greater and bigger, and just realize that we know that we can be more. That's where we learn how to be better about this whole thing. But the idea that there's something else bigger than us out there, I mean, there are whales. There are whales that you can walk around in. You can play football in. You know, I don't know what we're talking about here. Like, we act like we're the biggest turd on the block. Like, what are you talking about? We're nothing. You're not. I mean, you think you're what is it? King shit on a silver platter, but you're just cold poop on a paper plate. We are all just cold poop, guys. I mean, there's things that are bigger and meaner than us. Even with our guns and stuff, we still got things that get us. Dogs eat people a lot. You know, I mean, things happen. Snakes. I mean, people die of stupid shit all the time. So we're not the biggest and baddest on the block. Yeah, we've been able to take over the environment quite well, but, you know, maybe if the dogs got together a little earlier, they could have done it too. I don't know. But to say that there's something else out there and that that the president has bothered to say he may have disclosed classified information, it's like, did you just verify it, dude? Obviously, you've had the briefing. Blink if you've had the briefing. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I love how he does that, and someone's going to pick it up. But let's just see how it all goes, guys. There's more coming out on all that, but I don't know. By the way, that free market in Mundandi's new free grocery place. Well, yeah, it's not going real well. Yeah, they kind of ran out of money and food already on the first hour. Yeah, they already ran out of other people's shit. Oh, God. You know, guys, we fix all this with the 10% I talk about. We fix all this with doing more for others. We fix all this by looking out to each other and being there for each other and those things. And that's how we fix it. Hey, Philip, man, what's up, buddy? So there's a lot of things that I think are going to come out here, and I think it's going to be good for us. But I think it may hurt too, or maybe we find out that we are kind of just we are king shit. We are king cold poop on a paper plate, but because there really isn't anything else out there. How about that? Would you want that? Would you really want to know that you and I and whatever we know, this was all that was out there? Like all that we got around to doing was just Earth? I don't know. Something to think about. All right, guys. Well, this is, I love, oh, by the way, Trump had his meeting today with the new, I got two things I got to come out with. I was getting ready to end, but Trump came out on the peace board thing, the Board of Peace, did a big speech on that today. And by the way, the Prince Andrew thing, everybody's so excited that there's justice coming for the victims and Prince Andrew or whatever it is. He got picked up for disclosing state secrets, not for diddling a kid. So everybody's all cheering for the wrong shit. Are we not paying attention anymore? It takes 2 seconds to really see that what's going on there. But this is what we got. I mean, we got people out there just, clapping already, Clapping. Oh, yeah, the victims. I'm like, and yeah, it was his birthday, kind of a dick move. I mean, you really can wait a day. Right? Boys, you could have waited a day. I love how they're like, oh, now the judge signed it. We got to get out of here right now. I just think it's cowardless. I think it's meant for humiliation. I know it's a lot of public stuff that they're doing there. 79th suspect in mass Minnesota fraud scheme arrested after attempting to flee to UK. Center received millions of taxpayer-funded dollars under Walt's administration. Isn't that crazy? I mean, this is the kind of stuff we're up against, guys. We're fighting against things where these people really don't care. They don't care that you're calling them bad or that they stole millions from you. They're just mad, just making them stop. Oh, I got to go back to my country. Okay, I go back to my country. They're living like kings. They've been sending money back to their homeland, making sure everybody back there's fed. I mean, shit. We're feeding everybody, boys. We're doing good. All right, guys. Well, today has been a good day. Every day is a good day, right? You can find good in every day, and you can find value in what you want, right? So there's things we can do different. Yeah, we know there's things going on out there. We got to be vigilant. We got to be the right people, and we could do that. It's not hard. It's just effort. All right, guys, remember, burn your paper, burn your wood products, get all that stuff burned up so you don't have to have that in the trash. And then if you have organics, which would be left over after you burnt everything else, then you put that in your compost pile with your ashes. So anyway. All right, guys, and that's how you release the minerals out of there that don't happen through fermentation like the swamp. You ever been to a swamp? That's slow fermentation. That's what that is. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, our community, city, our county, our state, our federal government. The more you do for them, the less to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, 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 far better place. Right, Nancy? Right, Hillary? And by the way, Hillary, oh my gosh, I don't know who's playing her right now, but I am really tired of it. It's like the worst soap opera ever when you just know they're switching people in and out and the narrative is really lazy. And they only have that one thing they do. Trump's a dick. I mean, grow up, lady. You're 90 years old or whatever it is you are. You look horrible, by the way. You don't look good. As much money as you've had access to and the people and the things you've been able to do, and you don't look better? Huh? Who's lying to you? All right. Anyway, remember the 10% we do for, so we did that, right? So remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in, we'll win. I promise I make promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answerer. Remember, the Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. Sorry, I said answerer, something like that. All right, guys, thank you so much for everything out there. Philippi, good to see you. Brenda's been here as well. We had a lot of people showing up. Josephine, Dave Glovin, Danica was here, Sabrina as well, lots of others. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Remember, like, share, comment as often as possible, and donate as often as possible, too. We do have to keep the lights on. All right, guys, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.